Chapter 3. I don't think I said I'd go there. Chouge City. Gu Hai was dressed in a dragon robe, standing with his arms folded, coldly looking towards a group of flying boats in the distance south of the city. The ministers behind him saw the large yuan flag fluttering above the 50 flying boats. All of them had a burst of worry and turned to look at Gu Hai. In the past, when they faced Liu Yang's army, it was only an imperial army, but right now, Dayuan was an imperial dynasty. It wasn't a concept at all. Now, the Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty's army was pressing in. What should we do now? Boom! A group of strong men flew down from the flying boat, holding up their swords and knives in a chop, immediately cutting down 5 mountain peaks, flattening them and forming 5 huge squares in general. The armies on the flying boat all slowly landed on top of the 5 flattened peaks and very neatly stood in 5 100,000 army formations. Gu Hai was slightly stunned. What are these troops doing? What kind of army formation is this? Wanting to pit 2 armies against each other. Gu Hai looked towards the flying boat at the head. On the deck of the flying boat, there seemed to be a pale man standing, holding onto the deck railing, looking towards Gu Hai with a confident face. "Where is Gu Hai?" a summoned soldier bellowed from behind the pale man. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed slightly, and for a moment, he didn't figure out what the crowd in front of him was up to. "I, Great Hong Gu Hai, who is your excellency?" Gu Hai said indifferently. There was its own sound amplificationer, outside the imperial palace, and the sound was transmitted to the distance in the twinkling of an eye. The pale-faced man in the distance smiled faintly. A hint of pride flashed in his eyes when he saw Gu Hai. "My general is the Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty, Northern Expedition Army. 8th Legion Commander. Changming, Legion Commander Chang," the summoning soldier bellowed once again. "Changming Legion Chief." Gu Hai frowned slightly, his mind constantly recalling all the information about the Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty that he had read not long ago. However, no matter how he looked, he could not find the person Changming. Even in the past 2 days, Gu Hai had gone through all the information about the army of the Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty, but there was still no such person as Changming, 8th Army Chief, Great Yuan Dynasty. It couldn't be an imposter, right? Gu Hai had an odd moment in his heart, but did not show it. "Your Majesty, this person, I know," an official suddenly said respectfully. "Oh," Gu Hai looked over in doubt. "I have traveled to the Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty in the past, and Changming is a descendant of the Chang family of the Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty. And the Chang family is a large family in the Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty. A vampire family," that official respectfully said. "A vampire family?" Gu Hai raised an eyebrow. "Yes, this Changming's pale face is a characteristic of vampires. They call themselves the Blood Clan. And Changming is the youngest son of the Chang family's head. His cultivation is quite fast. The last time I went there, the legend said that he was already at the peak of the Yuaning, and that it was just a step away from leaving the Heavenly Palace," that official recalled. "Oh, can there be any battle or political achievements?" Gu Hai inquired. "I don't know. I shouldn't be famous this time. The Northern Expedition Army of the Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty should be for him to brush up his military achievements, right?" The official shook his head. "Hasn't been on the battlefield. No wonder." Gu Hai revealed a light smile. Turning his head, Gu Hai once again looked at Changming in the distance. "Legion Commander Chang, I don't know what I'm doing today. Coming to the Great Han Dynasty," Gu Hai said indifferently. In the distance, Changming proudly looked towards Gu Hai and revealed a light smile. "Gu Hai, this army chief has come today to give you a splash of riches. Oh, by order of the marshal, I was allowed to dispose of these 12 cities of yours at will. This Legion commander does not wish to make a big deal out of it, and is giving you a chance to make peace." Changming laughed. "Peace talk? A cold smile appeared at the corner of Gu Hai's mouth. The 12 cities are the Great Han dynasties, not your northern expeditionary grand marshals. Allowing Changming to do as he pleases, you think that the 12 cities are in your pocket. Gu Hai suppressed the fire in his heart and looked at the opposite side with a cold smile. Not bad. Peace talks, Gu Hai. The marshal cares quite a lot about Mergu. This army chief also doesn't want you to lose something, so I will make the decision. The 12 cities will still be under your control, at your disposal. How about it? Changming confidently said. Ha ha ha. 12 cities at my disposal. Gu Hai laughed coldly. Not bad. Appoint you as the Great Yuan Imperial Dynasty, Fushen 12 Cities Sectional Envoy. These 12 cities. Into my Great Yuan. You continue to be in charge of the 12 cities. How? Changming laughed. Gu Hai laughed coldly for a while. Legion Commander Chang, in that case, you are here to recruit peace. To recruit my Great Han Dynasty. That's right. Changming nodded his head. After saying that, Changming stared at Gu Hai as if he was certain of Gu Hai. Recruitment. The surrounding officials, however, were at a loss, and the crowd of Chouj City people also frowned and looked into the distance. The people naturally don't want war if they can avoid it. However, they are the people of the Great Han Dynasty. How can they be recruited by Daiyuan? Yet, the people looked towards Gu Hai together. The officials also looked at Gu Hai together, wanting to see how Gu Hai would decide. Gu Hai revealed a light smile. The heavens have the virtue of goodness, and the Chang Legion commander also has compassion. Ha 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 ha. Not bad, Gu Hai. Those who recognize the times are wise. I'm giving you the chance to not hurt a single one of your subjects. Changming laughed out loud. Gu Hai's lightly smiling face hid a hint of eccentricity. This Chang army chief, is his head broken, still smug? You really think that I'll clap my hands if you come to recruit the people? Moreover, even if you are recruiting, it's not the way you do it. If you don't convince the other side first, it's like recruiting. Every inch of land is filled with human lives, and you want to take my 12 cities with just a few words. Do you really think I'm a philanthropist? Legion Commander Chang, I heard that not long ago. Your cultivation reached a height that ordinary people cannot reach. Gu Hai asked tentatively. As if saying Changming's itch, Changming immediately laughed. Ha 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 ha, not bad. Open the Heavenly Palace. Half a year ago. I can't believe it's all spread to you. Gu Hai, turning his head. Gu Hai looked at the official beside him. Are you sure he's a key disciple of the Chang family? Not a brainwashed one. The official beside him. In the distance, Changming was complacent for a while and called out, all right, Gu Hai, how are you thinking? Hurry up. Gu Hai looked towards Changming in the distance. A light smile flashed in his eyes. The great events of the country should not be underestimated. Chang Army Chief, how about having a separate chat in the center here? Gu Hai pointed 10 miles away. Rumble. The Earth's dragon vein tumbled, and all of a sudden, underneath that one spot of Earth, a huge square mountain slowly floated up, seemingly a huge terrace. Oh, Changming's eyes lit up. Chatting alone, Gu Hai wanted to chat with himself alone. However, what cultivation level does Gu Hai have compared to himself? It's a far cry. If he comes alone, I still have to be afraid of him. Good, Changming agreed in a single breath. Wait a moment, Gu Hai faintly said. While Changming revealed a hint of doubt, he saw Gu Hai dispatching a group of officials. The officials responded, then quickly left. Looking for craftsmen in the city, they brought a large amount of materials to the huge terrace in the center. They began to build a gazebo, and as if to give the pavilion a good decoration, so that the bare terrace become very beautiful and comfortable, and put on the tea seat, very elegant and cozy. Changming's eyes flashed a trace of satisfaction. The original and I talk alone, but also a good environment. This Gu Hai is more sophisticated than himself. Gu Hai, however, quietly left everyone's sight and went to a large hall, flipped his hand, and took out countless spirit stones and put them into the hall. But in the twinkling of an eye, the spirit stones disappeared into the hall. At the same time, he did some commands to a group of foothills people and officials. Yes, the officials responded with odd faces. After arranging everything, Gu Hai slowly walked over, looking into the distance. Changming was still patiently watching the decoration on that terrace, and he also sent his subordinates to fly there and set up a wine rack next to the coffee table. Gu Hai's face darkened when he saw the distant scene. This Changming, where did this oddball come out from? Actually calling for cooperation. The decoration was quickly nearing its end. Gu Hai probed his hand and made a move, rumble. The Earth's dragon vein once again tumbled up. Following that, in Changming's surroundings, the 5 peaks where 500,000 great Yuan generals were located were slowly in the midst of merging. It was as if they were about to merge into a super large square. A crowd of generals felt the mountain peaks move under their feet and wanted to leave the peaks. Amidst frowning, "Don't move. This is Gu Hai showing us goodwill by allowing the 5 peaks to merge. Don't lose my face," Changming coldly said. Yes, the 500,000 generals nodded with a wave of an ease. Boom. As expected, the seatless peaks all merged into one huge terrace with 500,000 generals standing on it. At this moment, the group of officials and craftsmen that Gu Hai had sent out to decorate the giant terrace in the center also slowly returned to Chao City. Quang, the gate closed with a loud bang. Above the terrace, the decoration was quite beautiful. A wave of satisfaction flashed across Changming's eyes. "Legion Commander Chang, please." Gu Hai opened his mouth. "Ha ha 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 ha. Good." Changming was satisfied as he stepped and flew up. Boom. In the twinkling of an eye, Changming flew to the place of the terrace gazebo. Choosing a very comfortable chair to sit on, he probed his hand, and with a wave of his hand, the fine wine on the wine rack landed in the crystal cup in front of him. Grasping the crystal cup, Changming very comfortably looked towards Gu Hai in the distance, signaling Gu Hai to come quickly. "Gu Hai, this Changming, is he really not brain dead?" Gu Hai looked to the official next to him and inquired once again. A cold sweat broke out on that official's forehead. Not knowing how to answer, "Gu Hai, you're not coming yet," Changming said with some impatience as he waited in the gazebo. "Gu Hai, only people have ever waited for me. No one has ever dared to make me wait. Gu Hai, you don't want to be this festival minister anymore." Changming coldly drank. Gu Hai was silent for a while and said, "I don't seem to have said I want to go over there." "Hey." Changming's face froze, somewhat unresponsive. "What do you mean? Didn't you just say to talk to me alone?" Boom. At the back, where Changming had brought his 500,000 troops, a fog suddenly rushed into the sky, and in an instant, it swallowed all 500,000 troops. In the blink of an eye, the 500,000 troops could not be seen, and not even their voices could be heard. Earlier, the Earth Dragon Vein merged the 5 peaks, not to create a square for them, but to fill in the spirit stones for the deployment of the formation only. Looking at the 500,000 of his own subordinates that disappeared into the fog, Changming sat alone in a comfortable chair with his wine cup, his head spinning for a moment.